Can Iraq really reduce the value of the US dollar? A deep dive into the central bank's strategy. The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has recently made headlines with its announcement that it plans to reduce the value of the US dollar within Iraq in the coming days. This statement has sparked significant debate and speculation. Can Iraq truly influence the value of the US dollar? How will this impact the Iraqi dinar, IQD, and the economy? And what role does the controversial Delete the Zeros project play in all of this? In this article, we will break down Iraq's strategy, explore the realities of currency valuation, and analyze whether the CBI's plan is feasible. Can Iraq control the value of the US dollar? To answer this question, we need to understand how currency values are determined. The US dollar, USD, is a global reserve currency, meaning its value is influenced by a complex mix of factors such as US Federal Reserve policies, global trade balances, interest rates, investor confidence. Since Iraq does not control these factors, it cannot directly alter the value of the US dollar itself. However, what Iraq can do is manipulate the exchange rate between the Iraqi dinar and the US dollar. This means the CBI's goal is to strengthen the dinar rather than directly devalue the dollar. By strengthening the dinar, Iraq could make it appear that the US dollar is losing value in Iraq. But in reality, this would simply mean that one US dollar buys fewer Iraqi dinars than before. The Delete the Zeros project. A game changer? One of the biggest pieces of Iraq's economic strategy is the Delete the Zeros project, which has been discussed for years. The idea behind this project is to remove 3 zeros from the current dinar denominations. For example, a 1,000 IQD note would be redenominated to 1 IQD. Why would Iraq want to do this? The key motivations behind this project are making transactions easier. Carrying large stacks of currency can be inconvenient for both individuals and businesses, boosting confidence in the dinar. If done correctly, this could increase trust in the Iraqi currency and reduce dependence on the US dollar, increasing the purchasing power of the dinar. Theoretically, a stronger dinar means that goods and services become more affordable for Iraqi citizens. The challenges of removing zeros. While this idea sounds appealing, it is not a simple process. The biggest risks include inflation. If not managed properly, removing zeros could cause rapid inflation, hurting consumers. Public trust issues. If citizens fear that the move will devalue their savings, they may rush to convert their dinars into dollars, causing economic instability. Economic readiness. Iraq needs a stable banking system and economic infrastructure to ensure that this transition is smooth. If Iraq does not implement strong policies to manage this transition, it could lead to severe financial disruption rather than economic stability. The role of oil in Iraq's currency strength. Oil plays a critical role in the strength of the Iraqi dinar. Iraq's economy is heavily dependent on oil exports, meaning any change in oil prices directly impacts its currency value. If oil prices rise, Iraq earns more revenue, which can strengthen the dinar. If oil prices fall, the government may struggle to support the economy, leading to a weaker dinar. A prime example of this was in 2020, when oil prices crashed due to the global pandemic. Iraq's economy suffered, and the government had to take emergency measures to stabilize the dinar. What happens next? Key factors to watch. If you're following Iraq's economic situation closely, here are some key indicators to watch. 1. Oil prices. Since oil is Iraq's main economic driver, fluctuations in oil prices will have a direct impact on the dinar's strength. 2. Inflation rates. If inflation starts rising in Iraq, it could signal economic instability, which...
Chapter 7. Understanding currency float versus fixed rates. Iraq's currency could move toward a floating exchange rate. Here's a quick breakdown. Fixed rate. Government sets the value, e.g. $1 equals 1,200 Iraqi dinars. Floating rate. Value determined by supply-demand in Forex markets. If the IQD floats and gains value due to increased oil exports, political stability, or foreign investment, the Forex rate could become favorable, boosting your returns if you exchange during the right moment. Chapter 8. How to track Iraq's currency news. Here's how to stay informed. 1. Set Google alerts for keywords like Iraqi Dinar Redenomination, Central Bank of Iraq, and IQD to USD. 2. Follow reliable financial outlets, Reuters, Bloomberg, Al Jazeera, Business 3. Watch Central Bank of Iraq announcements 4. Join IQD forums and social groups 5. Track exchange rates daily. Knowledge is power. The more informed you are, the better your chances of making the right decision. Chapter 9. The Smart Investor's Strategy. Here's a 5-step plan for 25,000 note holders. 1. Set a target exchange rate. Decide in advance what rate you're willing to accept. 2. Stay flexible. Be ready to act if rates spike or drop quickly. 3. Use multiple platforms. Compare rates from different Forex dealers. 4th, exchange in stages. Don't put all your notes in one basket. Gradually convert based on market trends. 5. Beware of scams. Only use verified and regulated currency exchange services. Chapter 10. The window of opportunity. Iraq is likely to give its citizens a deadline to exchange old notes. Foreign investors may get a similar window. Once the redenomination is complete and the old notes are phased out, their value may drop dramatically or become obsolete. Act within the transition period to protect your investment. Chapter 11. Will the dinar float in 2025? Many experts speculate that Iraq could move toward a floating currency by late 2025. Factors that support this theory include growing oil exports, stabilizing political landscape, support from the IMF and World Bank. If floating happens and market confidence grows, the dinar's value could appreciate significantly. This could be the catalyst many investors have been waiting for. Conclusion: a moment years in the making. The Iraqi dinar redenomination is real and it's happening now. This is no longer just speculation. It's a pivotal financial moment. For years, 25,000 note holders have waited for a sign. This overhaul could be the turning point. But timing, strategy, and knowledge are everything. Don't wait until it's too late. Prepare, plan, and position yourself for potential gains. Call to action. Be part of the IQD movement. If you found this article helpful, subscribe to our YouTube channel, IQD to VND. Like and share this article with fellow investors. Join our community for the latest updates on the Iraqi dinar. Stay informed. Stay ready. Your 25,000 notes may be more valuable than ever.